Yo, what is up, folks? MTG here with Dimir Merfolk for Pioneer and its MTG Arena equivalent Explorer. This is a blue-black version of the Merfolk deck, splashing blue for some nice removal with Fatal Push, some awesome card advantage with Unholy Annex / Ritual Chamber, and then also, and most importantly, Kaito Bane of Nightmares. Dimir Merfolk, blue-black Merfolk, Kaito Merfolk, if you will. The other removal really helps you out with the aggro decks in the format, especially if you're going to take this as best of one. I do have a sideboard here. We will be playing best of 3 today. But you get to take advantage of some awesome Merfolk effects, some ways to copy them, some ways to reuse them, while like playing a pretty solid blue-black shell already. The Fatal Pushes and the Unholy Axes are very, very solid. You also have like access to some nice hand disruption in the sideboard with Thoughtseize. You still have your core like good mono-black cards available, but with some disruptive stuff. And so Kaito, obviously, is trying to ninjutsu things, and it's awesome. 3 mana, and obviously if you're ninjutsuing it, can't be countered either, and comes in as a 3/4 with hexproof, so it's hard to deal with on your turn. +1, ninjas get +1/+1. Okay, like, it's not to say we don't have any ninjas in the deck. There's some mutavolts down here, but it didn't work. And we do have some moon circuit hackers as well. But hey, the real power here is the tempo provided by the -2 ability, and the card advantage off the 0. So for the 0s to veil 2, then draw a card for each opponent who lost life this turn. Obviously, we're playing 1v1, that's going to be 1. But the -2 tap target creature, put 2 stun counters on it is incredible. Not only does it like stop your opponent from like attacking you, but it also stops them from pressuring Kaito, unless they have actual like destroy target planeswalker like spells to cast. It is very, very hard to deal with. And so, yeah. With that being said, let's have a look at the Merfolk and the other bits and pieces. So one, we've got Mistcloaked Herald. Pairing this alongside Mockingbird, which kind of does double work here. These are both evasive 1-drops, which are very easy to ninjutsu out for Kaito or the Moon Circle Hacker. The Herald itself, it can't be blocked. Okay, nice. And we have some Lords to buff it as well. The Mockingbird can be played on turn 1 if you don't have another creature, like if you don't have the Herald. But later on in the game, you get to bounce it back to your hand with ninjutsu for one of these to then reuse. And then X Blue, obviously 1/1 flying base when you play it for blue. But you may have Mockingbird enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield with mana value less than or equal to the amount of mana spent to cast Mockingbird, except it's a bird in addition to its other types, and it has flying. This means you can copy your Merfolk. You can copy your Merfolk Lords, you can copy Silvergill Adepts and not have to worry about the extra cast trigger. You can copy Flipit Drowner, you can copy Moon Circuit Hacker or whatever. Demons, potentially. But you can also copy your opponent's stuff. It can be really, really useful, and again, the ninjutsu effects returns to the hand and then get to actually use it for its like real clone ability later on. Super, super awesome. Vidalian Hexcatcher, one of the best Merfolk we've had printed recently. That's legal in Pioneer. Obviously, we don't have the turn everything into islands here. But 1 in a blue for 1/1 with Flash. Other Merfolk you control get +1. So awesome, it's a Lord, it comes in with Flash. But sacrifice a Merfolk, counter target non-creature spell as a controller pays 1. This is the real, like, kind of like icing on the cake ability. We have a bunch of like pretty nice Merfolk, like the Heralds can rack damage up, the Mockingbird can obviously copy these and go off with Lords and stuff. We've got Silvergill Adepts drawing cards, but the ability to just counter any non-creature spell your opponent plays by sacking a Merfolk or 2 is super, super good, as well as just like powering up your other Merfolk, giving you a clock to play with. Flipit Drowner is like a relatively recent addition from Duskmourn. Again, a very powerful Merfolk card. Again, 1 blue, has Flash. This time it's a 2/1, it's Vigilant, but then when it enters, tap target creature and opponent controls to put a stun counter on it. This card gets played a lot with Kaito already outside of the Merfolk shell, but alongside with Kaito, you just have so many stuns, your opponent just can't interact with you, like can't attack or block with you with creatures. It's really, really good. Silvergill Adepts, the classic. 1 in a blue for 2/1. Additional cost to cast it, pay 3 or reveal a Merfolk, but enters draw a card. You get to like use it for Hexcatcher's ability. Draw cards off it, you can clone, draw more cards off of it, is super, super nice. We'll see how awkward the reveal is. This deck's been doing like pretty well online, like kind of sneakily putting up some results. Sneaky, classic Dimir. And yeah, thought I'd give it a run. Circuit Hacker here is our kind of like second ninjutsu creature, where Kaito is the first. 1 in a blue for a 2/1, when it deals ninjutsu for blue, so like a super, super cheap cost to return it. Return a creature to put into play. Tapped and attacking. Whenever Moon Circuit Hacker deals combat damage to play, you may draw a card, and then if you do, discard a card unless it enters the battlefield this turn. Generally, you get to like use this ability once, and then depending on how you're able to interact with your opponent's stuff, either like stunning it down or like killing it with a Fatal Push, hopefully it'll get to hit it again, and then get to loot you, and that's kind of extra upside. But being able to reuse the Adept, reuse the Mockingbird, that's like the reuse the Drowner, these are all really, really good things to do with the Hacker. Obviously 4 copies of Kaito, and then 4 copies of Unholy Annex, versus the more control index of the format, the decks that aren't playing lots of creatures for you to kill and stun and tap. Unholy Annex does a really, really good job of kind of like keeping you in the game versus decks trying to remove all your stuff, trying to like board wipe you. It's a Phyrexian arena with a bunch of upside, including a 6/6 demon. Mana base is fairly straightforward. We have an Otawara here, we have 4 copies of Mutavault, and then we have some blue-black lands and some islands and a swamp. There will be a link in the description to a deck list. One interesting point here is we're using these value pools. There are matches where like you're not going to want to annex and stuff. I mean, so like there are matches where we definitely do want to have more lands in the deck. The deck itself is playing 24, which is quite a lot if your game plan is the tempo strategy. If it turns out that it's not a matchup where you need annex, you can like cycle extra lands away. It's kind of nice. We'll see how this plays out. And then the sideboard. So 2 Spell Pierce. Interact with opponent's interaction, all their combo stuff. You would not with Affliction, extra help versus the aggro decks. Specifically, this Exiles as well, so it gets around all the like kind of like dice effects. 1, 2, 3 copies of Leyline of the Void. Graveyard Hate of our own. We have 4 Thoughtseize for combo and control, and then 4 Tishana's Tidebinder. There are some matchups where this card's incredible. Things like Enigmatic Incarnation, the like 5 color brings a Niv Mizzet deck is really, really good there. Anyone that plays Leyline Binding, there's a bunch of cases where this is just super, super good. But it's a little awkward and raises our curve even higher in the main deck, so we're putting him in the sideboard here. 2 in a blue with Flash, enters, counter up to 1 target activated or triggered ability. If an ability of an artifact, creature, or planeswalker is countered this way, it loses those abilities as long as it's on the battlefield. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Notably, loses all abilities. But yeah, not just the ones that were activated. Can be really, really nice. Right, I'm going to hop into some best of 3 ranked matches. If you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel. Would really, really appreciate it. And yeah, let's get into some games. First match with Kaito Merfolk. Get to be able to play. Nice. Double Drowner, but 5 lands. I think we do have to ship this back. And we will keep this hand, though we have a very awkward hand with Mystic Herald and so we'll add out. I'm going to keep this, put a land back, which will be the Verge. We have to think a bit about how we want to sequence here. We have to kind of gamble whether our opponent is playing an aggro deck or not. Well, we could put the Mutavault back and keep the Gleaming Verge. This is a line, potentially. That way we can... no, the Verge taps for blue on turn 1. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to play the commit to playing the Fat Pools tapped first. The reason we're, like, waiting on this Mystic Cloud is that we could definitely cast a Silver Girl on turn 2. And there are very few circumstances where like casting Silver Girl on turn 2 is going to be actually bad. I think I do this here, and we will reveal a Merfolk card. Otherwise, you have to pay 5 for Silver Girl. But we get to draw a card. Nice. And if they remove the Silver Girl, it's not the, we actually, like in terms of removal spells, we kind of value the Silver Girl up to less than the Mistcloaked Herald because we can ninjutsu this back. This is a bit of a weird one. Okay. See, look, we got a 3 for 1. If we ignore the fact that they discarded this Phoenix card. Haven't seen one of these before. No idea what it does. Joking. We'll see. Shredder we can just push. And hold up Drowner? Or do we play the Mystic card out? You just get rid of this. Start looking at any more value off of it. They've got 4 cards in hand. We've got a chance to... I think we go. We just say go. And then, depending on what they do, we can just unset the Floodpits Drowner. I like that. They know we have the Herald, so this is like a little weird, but hey. We can go Herald plus Annex next turn. They've got nothing. They don't have a 3rd land. Do I want to tempo out the Drowner? Kind of, because if they cast a spell here, that's another, like... I mean, they're going to have 5, roughly, instants of sorcery. So once I imagine that once they hit the 3rd land, they'll be very, in a very good place to bring back the Phoenix and all. However, back for 2 here. We have the Mutavault as well. There's not that many downsides to, you know. We could get this on a Holy Annex countered. But depends. If they have a Spell Pierce, then it's a, well, then we take the L. But hey. Worth risking. Oh, maybe they have a Jwari Disrupt. We'll see. If this gets counted, then it is what it is. But I don't think I want to play around the maybe one of. No, they definitely play it. They wouldn't keep it in hand if they had a disruption. That's the one blue counter unless you pay one that's also a land. They'd have played it tapped. What are we talking about? Okay, we're going to double removal spell here, but we're going to be able to start drawing cards with Annex. And then the attacks on their hand isn't nothing either. Plus, we drew a land, which means next turn we can make a demon. Obviously, we couldn't fatale this, but it did at least have the Mutavault. Prankster. Get some consider. Yeah, they don't want to take the Lightning Axe. So we have the option to make this here. We're just gonna slam the demon because it can't be Lightning Axed. So they have to use 2 Fiery Impulses. It's also the biggest clock that we can kind of put on them. So far, so good. So we have Ley Line of the Void. I think we want to bring anything else in. Alright. Are they going to 2-4 themselves into this? So they can kill this, but then they're not casting the Consider, they're not finding the land. And now they don't have enough instances of sorceries to bring back Phoenix. I'll Mutavault because we're going to go on the aggressive here. Let's get active. We'll double Miscloaked Herald. No one expects the second. Or in fact the third. Huh. They're at 10. So now with the Consider. They did find the land. But do they have 2 monsters of sorceries? I wasn't actually paying enough attention to see where they went top or bottom. They're going to make the Pale Prankster. Okay. Now it's yeah. Blue. Black. Animate. Could have used both the Verges here, but doesn't really. We're not at a point where it makes a ton of difference. I should have played the island in case we draw something. We'll ninjutsu for one of the heralds here. Go to damage. Take action to draw. We find a Kaito, just too late. We will just play the herald back out. They're going to go down to 3. And we've had a Fatal Push T. Not terribly shabby. So things are looking decent. They obviously milled through a bunch of cards, but I've only actually hit 1 Phoenix so far. They've been a little unfortunate, to be honest. But there are still some games left to play. There we still Spell Pierce. Is there anything unusual here? I don't think so. They're playing an Artist Talent build, which is like fairly standard. Phoenix has fallen a little bit to the wayside, but it's always tough to say like, oh, it's gone quote bad. I'm gonna blow this up. Cool. Alright, game 2. So we have these ley lines. We also have these anoints. The Fatal Pushes are good here, just like getting rid of clearing Ledger Shredder. I don't really like fighting the battles over Spell Pierce. There are some times where it can be quite good, and then something like there's not really like. All their spells are 1 mana. This is kind of awkward. The amount of afflictions I think are worth bringing in. We get to Exile the Phoenixes. That seems good. In terms of what we want to cut. So, yeah. What are we cutting? Like, on the face of it, the hackers aren't great here, and they're a vulnerability. The ninjutsu creatures are a little less powerful. Your opponent can, like, wait for us to ninjutsu and then fire impulse things. We keep Kaito. Kaito's immune to all that kind of nonsense. That seems good. And then I want to cut 1 more card. I'm trying to think how the game is going to play out. Like, are we going to play long games or short games? If we want to play long games, then the Annex is reasonable. We're on 24 lands. Trimming like a Fetid Pools or probably an island when we're on the draw, I think is pretty reasonable. But it's a little tricky. good. Keeping creatures in play. Are we able to keep enough creatures in? Because they're going to board into more sheep removal. Keeping creatures in play to ninjutsu is actually problematic. So I think we cut a Kaito here, even though that seems like complete heresy. It also lowers our curve like a little bit, I think, or like keeps us at a reasonable point. Not that hopefully we're not casting the leyline. Jeez. Please no. But we'll see how things go. Oh, we're waiting here. I've been daily uploading for January and was close to daily uploading. Like I was weekday daily uploading for December as well. And that I think is going to stop. I'm not going to stop uploading entirely. I'm not quitting YouTube, but I am easing back off a little bit. I was experimenting to see kind of like, okay, what does the growth and stuff look like? But I think we're going to dial back a little bit. Just strain of full-time job listing all this, like releasing a video today is tough. When they're like an hour long as well. Or potentially. Right. Game time. Blue-black lands, blue-black spells. Double annex is a bit of a red flag here, but we have double hexcatcher, which could be good. And we have a fatal push to deal with like a legislator on the play, that kind of thing. So I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna draw 2. This is fine. I was like, if we go Swamp, hold up Fatal Push, but it's not the end of the world if we have to do this on our turn 2. We don't really want to, like, ideally we play the Hex Catchers after we have a Merfolk in play. Not necessarily, but it's nice. Turn 2 Artist Talent. Excuse me. Turn 2 Artist Talent is definitely very good for them, though. They can start really churning through their deck. If we don't have, we obviously didn't have Leyline. The fact that we have Leyline Unavoided in our deck is maybe another reason to put this hand back with a double annex. It is slow, and we have the upside of a millionth Leyline. So that was probably, I mean, it may have been the best decision. They're just going to level this up. Okay. Sure. Don't have a lot going on. I think it would be bad to not play a Hexcatcher here. Yeah, I think we do this. Aurora is interesting. I'll keep access to that. We'll attack. You have like second Hexcatcher, which doesn't mean a lot. I think we get an Annex in play and just try and draw to some good stuff. We'll try and match the Artist Talent with an Annex. The Leyline of the Void is awkward. Poorly timed, perhaps. We'll see how things play out. Also possible that they maybe boarded out. Well, no, I think it's too easy to read that they boarded out a Legislator. If they misclick. Pay the troll toll. Gotta pay 1. Alright. Just checking. Okay, so they didn't have a Phoenix immediately. And then it's also like, okay, do we think we can just, if we get to, we can just like cast this Leyline of the Void, and if they don't have a Spell Pierce, that seems good. I'm not sure if they'd have like boarded, because they saw like a good amount of creatures from us. And they saw some of the ninja stuff. Will they have boarded in like additional counter spells? Or are they going to play to remove things? But from our side, we get to level this up, we get to flip this again next turn. It's really hard for them to out the token. Unless they board into like some Brazen Borrows or something. Let's just try and make a Leyline. Does resolve, we get to draw. Alright, Flip Its Drown is a nice one. Start doing, we'll have access to more disruptive stuff. And then it's a case of like, okay, could have bounced the demon, now you need to kind of pick up that Leyline as well. And then it also depends on what other like win conditions they may or may not have sideboarded into. We shall see, we shall see. But hey, we did find a Leyline. One thing I've been trying to analyze more as like, I don't always play the best Magic on Arena. You might be able to see that from some of my videos. I'm gonna just flip this here. But I've been trying to spend more time thinking about, not necessarily thinking about, but being like, oh, actually, is this a spot where I should have mulliganed? Which sounds like really obvious, right? But it's like, especially with modern mulligan rules, hands that you kept like before, being able to keep drawing 7 and like you would have to keep worse hands. This is like especially true in limited, I guess, which isn't something I play a lot of on the channel or any of on the channel anymore. Maybe in the past. But yeah, especially when you have like, all right, I don't want to, as a concept, mulligan to leyline. I'm not gonna like go to 4 trying to find leyline otherwise. But if my 7 is like okay but not good, maybe, or like a little underwhelming, then maybe just go to 6. And that's obviously like leyline's like a good example of that. Any deck with like some kind of combo built into it. And I remember when Rakdos Vampires, people were talking about this a lot. It was like, hey, if you have like an average Rakdos hand, or you would see like average for Rakdos midrange, maybe just put that back, try and find a show and tell combo. I'm like, oh, okay, that really stuck with me. So that's a random thing where opponents deciding what they want to do. They're pitching. Oh yeah, they've got 2 cards in the graveyard. The Treasure Cruise Dream is not happening really. Let me see a Picklot pranks to get dumped too. Okay. And like, they have 2 cards in the graveyard. They're not getting Fiery Impulse up to Spell Mastery here. They're gonna have to spend 3 impulses on this, or Lava Axe, discarding something they don't want exiled. It's a tough situation. So they have Lilacs here. That's a Treasure Cruise? Yeah. Okay, so here's some options here. Again, we can go make Demon. It doesn't look like our opponent has Spell Pierce going on. That seems like our best play, potentially. Just keep being like, alright, let's make you deal with another 5/5. Oh, 6/6, sorry. They did level this up, right? Yeah. So a lot the axes do 7. Just kill these. They're like, hey, usage here. But it's really hard to shape your hand, even with like like all the drawing discarding that you would normally be really, really good here is like very awkward. Phoenix doesn't like playline. Water is wet. Great commentary. Yeah, we'll see how they deal with the demon. So yeah, it would only take 2 fire impulses. End here does 5. Seemingly not chosen the enchantment mode, the artifact mode. They like the other cards in their hand though. Maybe they're looking for a way to bounce it. Alright. I think I'm gonna pay some life 3/4/6. Actually, we'll play a tap land. Why not wait? Let's Silvergill reveal reveal Silvergill. I've got second ley line. I'm gonna play that Silvergill. I'll reveal Drowner. Not let them know about the X catches. We hit Mutavault. Great. That means we can play the Mutavault. I'm gonna level this. Well, not level it. Transform into a creature. And then we'll end turn. And that way we have the demon in play. Discard Toxic. But yeah, Artist Talent. I don't know if that many people expected it to do quite as well as it had. They've got yeah. We can't force them to pay for all of it. But hey. And the Hex Catcher's not saving anything by itself. Not bad. Oh, end step Drowner. Still kind of keeping the Hex Catcher a secret. I'm gonna animate Mutable here. Go to combat. We'll shock flip this. And go to end step. That'll put them to 4. Discard the extra ley line here because we should just have lethal. We'll have the cantrips go through. Yeah, it's a weird one. Like, the Kaitos get a lot worse when you can't ninjutsu them. Trimming down on them makes sense. The Alexes and Ritual Chambers are super important if the game goes long. And yeah, we do get there in the end. Nice. And that's Dimir Merfolk. I don't really just play one match, but the deck is super, super sweet. You have like a really nice tempo game plan with the Merfolk stuff and Flip Its Drowner. You have like Fatal Push and Flip Its Drowner to kind of like tempo your like aggro opponents out. The like value you get later in the game with Mockingbird, Silver Girl Adept, and Kaito are like awesome. The like stun stuff to like control creature combat with the Drowner and Kaito, and then like versus control matchups, and even like there versus Phoenix, you Unholy Axe can really take over the game in that way, where you can still like tempo and disrupt them with like Hex Catcher and things going on. The deck is really, really good. You get to sideboard as like you have like very good sideboard cards in blue and black as well. The ley lines are obviously great in this matchup, but Thoughtseize versus combo and control. Sharna's Tidebinder is excellent in a bunch of matchups. I didn't talk about it before, but this is also great against green. And you have like even more removal to board into versus aggro with some extra disruption as well. Not to mention, like, there's a lot of places where you can kind of like tune this deck to your personal like playstyle if you want to chop and change things a little bit. Sorry, it's only one matchup. Part of that is like time constraints. Like playing another best of 3 game could potentially be like 45 minutes or something like that, and so the video would be like an hour and a half. I just don't have time to record much today. And kind of what I mentioned in the middle of the video, I'm cutting back a little bit in terms of my uploads. I've been daily uploading for January, and in December was also week daily uploading. And it's been pretty strenuous, which I work full time outside of this, and uploading like a 30 to 1 hour long video every day and recording that is quite a lot. And so the hope is that I will still be uploading, I think, around 3 times a week, maybe more than that, maybe less, depending on the week, depending on if there's exciting stuff to do. And that's kind of the key as well, is that covering decks and looking at decks I'm like really excited and passionate about, new stuff, like kind of trying to stay on the edge of both competitive play, but also kind of the more out there stuff. I really like and enjoy both, but not feeling like pressure to like find something to upload every day, which means like the content isn't necessarily as good or enjoyable as well. I think this way I will be a little less stressed out and things to record and make videos daily, and then also I can really concentrate on the more interesting or like relevant decks too. Like I said, we've had like for a year where well, for the start of a year where Pioneer has not been put on the competitive map very much. We'll see how things go, but obviously there's no RCQ season so far, and we don't know what's going on with the PTs and things. There have been like a bunch of new like meta relevant decks, which is really cool. We've seen Oculus, the Merfolk deck's been really good, and there's been other bits and pieces too. I tried the Meta Check series. I don't know if I'm going to continue. I don't know if I'm going to continue on with that. I think I probably will do a few more and see how things go. But yeah, there are still some like pretty exciting stuff. This is a list of things that I have here. Some of these I've recorded with already. But yeah, that is to hopefully be able to do things I'm really excited about and make the videos that I want to make rather than feel forced to like find stuff to upload all the time. Which results in like content where I'm less engaged or invested and worse videos overall, I think. So, hey, bit of both. Let me know what you think as well, I guess. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do like, subscribe. Like I said, I'm not going to stop uploading. I'm not quitting YouTube or anything like that. I'm just slowing down a little bit. So still see a few videos. And there'll be times when new sets come out where there's like a bunch of exciting stuff, and I'll be like basically daily uploading probably. We'll see what happens with Aether Drift. Possible set review coming soon. Gonna wait for the full spoiler to drop, basically, rather than do like a halfway one. But yeah, we'll see what goes on. Thanks for watching. Peace out. Have a great day. Take care.